Okay, right here we have our image finished rendering. So we'll go ahead and open inside Photoshop. We can save as PSD. But before we do this, I want to actually show you other options you can do. You can save as HDRI image and open in another application to add additional colors, because Vue is rendering with a higher depth and coloring, which is much more interesting. So as example, let's go right here. We're open in Photomatic Pro, and I'll just show as example on tone mapping. You can see how much different details we can get it and apply it as well. So we'll pop up a little bit luminosity on this. Okay, let's bring white point higher, so we'll get a little bit brighter. But look on the details what we start having, and we can take this image after save, overlay with PSD, and bring some of these details in from the haze. So it's kind of depth on the clouds you can see come up very nicely. So some few properties, probably just take micros moving slightly down, and we can work increasing gamma a little bit up. Let's play a little bit with temperature, and I'm just adjusting some highlights. We'll bring smooth down and playing with a little bit luminosity and white point so we can balance this. Again, this just as example, so we can go, and when done, let's go process. Okay, we can adjust, bring sharpness a little bit higher. Again, all this information is inside. It's kind of nice, it's stored there. So here we go. Let's go inside the Photoshop, and right here image we save in PSD. You see resolution and tone map it. So normally I will copy, we can go paste over, and by using opacity we can actually see between these two images, find better combination. What is provided very nice, like look right here where we have it sun, and this is original. See how it's overlay because the brightness, but again with Vue we still have all this information, those clouds. So here's the example, when you use the HDRI you can see those clouds come up. So now we can manipulate and using opacity to add some of that information in our image. So I'm going to set 100%, go create mask layer, and we're going to fill up that mask with the all black color, so the mask, this image become all invisible. We'll select the brush. Let's set brush to 10% opacity. I want to be sure it's a smooth brush. And now with 10% opacity, I can start painting with actually white color. We'll start painting in some of those areas. You can see we can kind of start adding some effect. Okay, so we can add a little bit right here. Just click and add some details where we're losing. So we don't need to do all the way. We can keep it some areas, but maybe around both. Right here, before and after. You can see we add those clouds, kind of bringing back. So what I want to do next is add all this smoke and details to our view. So we'll go create a new layer. We'll go in our brush, and you can select I'm going to use the wrong brush, so you can use different brush. It's many available on the web if you search for the Photoshop brushes like fog or smoke. And I'm going to select one. Okay, let's go to switch white, and we'll go switch 100%. Can reduce a little bit, and when you click you can see right here, see how the cloud come up. If yours brush is invisible, you can preview a little bit, and I'm just going to add, I'm using brackets to make smaller or larger size, and just add a little bit of the smoke. You can see the fog. Let's switch different brushes. We can again use a total different sizes, reducing. I'm putting by the water, and also I want to switch this to the soft light. So what it does, soft light, it's kind of combining a little bit. Again, if you think the color does not match, you can always, okay, let's go delete this layer. I'll show you other ways we can do. You can use a picker tool, and we can go pick some colors maybe right here from the sky, so you can see different. And we can use this color, which is a little bit more match, to add some of those clouds. So again, it's up to I just want to add a little bit right here on the distance. So let's have this nice kind of fog effect. Okay, again, if I do on a sky, I probably go with my picker tool, pick maybe color right here of the mountain or clouds on the back. We'll go select maybe around this. Okay. Increase again, be sure 100% opacity, and you can see we can slightly add more clouds. Okay, let's wider, and right here we can start drawing, add additional details. In some cases, you in Photoshop a little bit easy to use it. So okay, right here a little bit too strong. Okay, let's go switch to this. What I would say, in Photoshop it's easier sometimes use these brushes because way faster than render inside the view. So we can add them right around here. Okay, and let's do maybe a couple more. Okay, and right here if we select darker, new layer, we can even add a little bit on the side. Just kind of give it a nice effect. Okay, here's one effect. You can notice we have all these layers. We can combine them, and let's call this clouds. Next, I want fixed little bit of graininess. For example, I render on a final which does not necessarily provide the best result with the liquid. So, but I can fix also this inside the Photoshop. So I'm going to Control Shift Alt E to combine all these layers below, create a new layer for me. And from this one, I go Filter, Noise, and we'll select Dust and Scratches. So you can see we can fix this and create almost like a painting effect. And sometimes the less details, it's actually what create a little bit more details. So base it on your resolution, and for mine, probably about 5 pixels, 4 pixels will be the best for this resolution, and sometimes you need to increase, decrease. So we create this filter, and next I want to paint this filter in some areas to create this nice painting effect. So I'm creating a new mask. I'm going to fill this mask with a black, so it's become invisible. Take my brush, make it sure it's a round brush, set to maybe even 5%, so very soft, very soft brush, and we start painting kind of inside lake, and you can see how all these details starts moving. So we have to start losing this grain, and again, if you want, you can take same effect and apply slightly on the mountains. Let's give it this painting effect. It's normal rule, you want to create maybe less details in some areas, so you concentrate it on maybe one effect. Okay, right here, see before and after. The water look a little bit more interesting, and we can add a little bit more to the clouds, this effect. Let's go add a little bit more on the sides. So let's add this depth as well. Okay, that is look nice. Next, we can simulate, just as example, HDRI effect. So we Control Shift Alt E again, combine them together. I'll just show you how you can do this, and not necessarily will work very well for this image, but we can try it. So I'm converting layer to black and white, and by adjusting these effects, adjusting lights, you can see I can bring some area lighter. So, and what I'm doing, I'm just looking how to add more dimensions by using contrast in my scenery. So, but because it's majority probably yellow and red, so this is color I'm just readjusting. And when I like how it's look by contrast in the black and white, I click OK, and we'll go image adjustment, and we need smooth a little bit those shadows. So we'll take shadows, bring down, up, and highlights. So you can see we almost make a flatter image. In this case, we can switch to the soft light, and let's give it us this somewhat depth HDRI look. I'm not necessarily will use all of that. I'll bring this down, and in some areas maybe I want to bring in, so I will bring a little bit higher. And I like how it's look on a cloud. So again, I will work with the my alpha transparency layer with a black color. Let's set to the 10, and I will just start kind of painting out in some area right here where I don't want to have it. So maybe even 20%. So I want to have it a little bit more on the clouds, and you can see I just remove in some areas and add a little bit more details in the clouds. Okay, let's do a couple more modifications. We're almost closer to twink around, and again I'll create one more image. And for this one, actually I want to create somewhat glowing effect. To do this, we have a new layer, Control Shift Alt E, go filter, blur, and we'll go to use it Gaussian blur for this. We want to set maybe small, about 3 pixels, 3-4 pixels will work, and switch to the screen mode. You see how bright it's come up. So again, this before, after, and we can also again create new layer, a mask, fill up with a black color, so it's almost disappear. And now by using brush with 10 opacity, I can add some of this glowing, maybe in this area where the sun, bring back. Okay, actually I need to switch to the white color. There you go. So now you can see it's kind of add some of this glowing in some areas. So we can go spread out, kind of like right here, lights coming from this area. So we'll go do this way. Okay, before and after. Okay, now let's go with tonal correction, and we can use it curves, but what I'm going to do, Control Shift Alt E combined together, and I'm just going to use it faster filter forge for this. Okay, and the filter forge, same, instead using curves, it's a little bit speed up for me. I will use it my phototone filter, so then I can look. You can see it's already preset, give it nice illustration color, and we can go with a different tone. Depending on which one you like it. I will kind of going with a little bit cyanish yellow. I think it's play very well. Maybe between two of this, you know, range. They both look good, but maybe a little bit greenish. Except right here, I'm going to pop up a little bit more on the blue color. And let me see. Take a slightly green down, and add a little bit more on a saturation vibrant. So we can add a few of those. Let's click apply now. Okay, it's come up with very nice, beautiful color adjustments as a curve. So again, you can modify on a fill or opacity how much you want. Actually, I like all the way. And one more thing, someone add border. So we're going to, I will show you two borders. So one with a curve. We'll just take all the way to the white, select space around, and we'll just fill up this with a black color. We'll go in a masking, layer mask, and add feathering. Actually, no, let me unselect, and we'll add feathering to this, and switch mode to the soft light. So just add beautiful kind of nice border. If you don't like going to white, nice things about curves, you always can go switch to the dark. So you can see it between dark or lighter color. I will leave as a light. And if you want to run more art, kind of, let's create new layer. Inside the filter forge, okay, let's go back to filter forge. We have another filter, which allowed you to change frames. So we go inside the frames, and right here watercolor frame, so you can see we can have a nice beautiful adjustments, and we can go with a maybe less white, kind of smooth, so we can apply, try different. Let's try this frame. Again, this is just a suggestion, you can play, but I want to show you different options. Well, we can kind of let's add a little bit more, or we can add less, so up to you. I'm just will set maybe around slightly value, so just slightly applying. Maybe not, maybe it does not look good on this one, but again, it's just suggestion, you can do other ones. But overall, here's our image we created inside with Photoshop. So let's group together and preview. So we have this before, which actually look nice setup with the plants, with the mountains, all custom, and we also enhance and modify this a little bit inside the Photoshop to create kind of nice picture. You can use it as a backdrop or any other. Thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio, and please remember visit us on our web is www.geekatplay.com.